followed the criticism that President John Ejekum Kuffour has come under from within his own party. There are those who suggest that his appearance at the event to rebrand Merchant Bank was a tacit endorsement of the sale to Fortis as one that was clean. Some have said that is bad enough. That is a betrayal of the minority that is fighting that particular transaction, and that undermines their resolve to continue to take on that battle. I start with you, Dominic. You have been playing a lead role in bringing out issues about Fortis and Merchant Bank sale, and you actually led Parliament, sought to have the process, investigated. You didn't succeed in that, and you said that was not the end of the matter. Is it really the case that what the President did undermines your process?
No, first of all, we in the minority do not see it that way, at all, not at all. We don't see that the appearance of the former President at the rebranding would stop us from doing what we have to do, or it doesn't wish away the issues that we raise. And in fact, we are going to even start raising the issues. What the minority leader did was to say that, look, we've never had the opportunity to sit with the former president regarding the Merchant Bank case, because we thought, and still largely we think that, look, it's about this kind of petty politics that we do and issues. But then he's had occasion to appear there, and we then realized that, well, he may have some information that we didn't have, and so we should go have some dialogue with him, sit with him, and have a chat with him. He will give us some useful information for us to be able to do what. It's been
a few days since you said that. You haven't met him?
We met him 3 days ago, the minority leader with one other person.
What is his justification?
Oh, no. It's not about justification. He was very happy, and he shared, in fact, light into things we didn't even know. It has even fortified us into doing what we have to do. Just like any other Ghanaian, he feels that...
James Agaga is laughing at you.
Maybe that's him. Just like any other Ghanaian, he feels largely that there was something wrong about the way things went.
And yet he went to participate in the rebranding.
First of all, you should know that participating in the rebranding exercise is not an endorsement of its illegality or its illegality. You should know that. I'll give you two things.
Okay, for those of you who are watching television, you see that's the occasion, and you see the picture of President Kuffour, you see Kojo Mpieni, and they are all watching the unveiling of a certain plaque to represent the new brand, the Universal Merchant Bank. Is it?
Yes, Universal Merchant Bank. We have largely said that we believe that there's more to it than it has come out. And the courts never had the opportunity to look at the critical issues that were raised by Andrew Awini because they were stopped. Parliament never had the opportunity, through my motion, to look at the critical issues. We were stopped, all by legalities. And we are saying that these issues, we'll look at them. I'll give you just two examples. One is that there were 5 bits, 2 from abroad, 1 in London, 1 in South Africa, and the 3 in Ghana. The Fortis deal was the worst for Ghana. According to our assessment, information now we now have, Fortis deal was the worst. But the government and the SNIT Merchant Bank Board went for the Fortis deal. 2, the creditors, especially those that are linked with the NDC, I don't want to be mentioning this, so I don't want to dilute the argument, so that I don't want to mention this. All those who were linked with government paid exactly 1 month. In fact, some even less than 1 month after they bought the bank. Meanwhile, this bank, the board had been chasing these same people for more than 5 years, to the extent that one of them even wrote to the presidency to say, look, intervene. If these people want to take all the money from me, they'll collapse my business. But trust me, 1 month after they bought the bank, they paid in cash, all of them. It gives you an indication as to why we're having the problem.
1 month after that, this individual you're referring to...
They all paid.
Sorry, they all paid. But had this individual not settled the debt that he was supposed to settle at the time?
At the time they bought the bank, it does not settle.
No, within the 1 month that he coughed up the money that was required, for what they needed to do, had he not paid?
I'm saying that within the 1 month, they paid. That is after the bank changed hands. They all paid. Meanwhile, the board of directors of Merchant Bank at that time had been chasing these same people for them to pay. They said they couldn't pay, even petitioned the presidency for them to
Presently,
intervene.
that's not the issue.
No, I'm saying that
you're saying that these are the facts
Yes.
that support your, strengthen your position.
No, these are new facts that we now have. We already have some facts.
Right.
And the fact that we had were very clear that the sale was not in the best interest of Ghana. The sale was not good. We believe it was a giveaway and that the sale was wrong.
And President Kuffour is aware of all of these facts that you spoke
I am
about.
saying that after we met him, all the disposition he gave us and all the things he gave us, he himself believes that what went on, we need to look more at it. So, for us, his appearance does not stop us from doing what we have to do.
Just hold on. Godwin,
Yeah.
sorry, but I put you on the spot. Do you believe him when he says that these are the facts that were before the former president, fully aware, and these facts do not go to strengthen the hand of 40s, but rather to strengthen their position, and yet the former president deemed it fit to show up at the rebranding?
Don't get me wrong. I never said these bills and 119 were in front of the former president. He shed light on other things, which of course is not good for me to be saying what he said to us. But I'm saying that the singular belief he himself has is that we should at least continue what we are doing. He's in support of what the minority is doing.
Please, my question.
In a democratic society where you have freedoms such as freedom of speech, expression and opinion, when decisions are being taken in a democratic manner, that is to say, where people are allowed to make
Kindly
comments.
speak up a bit for us, yeah.
I mean, the point I'm making is, in a democratic society where basic rights and freedoms such as the freedom of speech, expression and opinion are guaranteed and respected, you should expect that when decisions are being taken, not by angels, but by human beings, you will have other human beings having different opinions or alternatives, to them. And we should expect them to express them. But once those decisions have been taken by the appropriate organs, I think that we have to move on, even if we still have some reservations about them. I want to believe those were the perspectives.
Do you believe that the president's attendance is such a huge statement? Number one, it's a statement.
Well, I mean, it will be a statement. It will be a statement of maturity. It will be a statement of recognition that a decision has been taken by those who have to take it, and that we have to move on. If he's invited as a former president, he understands the issues of governance. And I do not think he's not that partisan, or he's not supposed to be that partisan. So even when he disagrees with certain things, I mean, I think that he still has to play a role that the society should expect him to play.
He doesn't know the critics, the sections of civil society, and the NPP any moral obligation not to show his face at this place?
Something. I think that what President Kuffour did when he attended the rebranding, if you like, ceremony of Merchant Bank was an example of a demonstration of how law-abiding former President Kuffour is. I say it is a demonstration of how law-abiding former President Kuffour is because the takeover by 40s of Merchant Bank has gone through all the tests. Honorable Nituwul here, as the deputy minority leader, attempted to move a motion to have the takeover, reopened and investigated. His attempt was foiled in Parliament through due process. He ought to have known at the time he attempted to move that motion that the matter was pending before the law courts. He glossed over this, basic truth, went ahead and attempted to move a motion. The motion was foiled. Then Andrew Awuni, who was former president to, former press secretary to President Kuffour, who has now repackaged himself and is with the NGO world, he decided to go to court and test the legality or otherwise of the takeover. He lost.
He lost on what grounds?
Well, capacity is as good as substance. If you attempt to litigate the first question you ask yourself is whether you are properly clothed with capacity, the requisite capacity to institute
but
the
that
action.
That should tell you that the substance of the matter itself has not been looked at.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. As I said, capacity is as good as substance.
Right.
If you don't have the capacity to question the propriety or otherwise of certain actions taken by you know, an entity such as a merchant bank, and you go ahead and attempt to institute that action and you lose, it wouldn't lie in your mouth to say, oh, if I had capacity and the substance of the matter had been dealt with, the outcome would have been different. It doesn't lie in your mouth.
Okay.
And so far as I am concerned, the merchant bank takeover is something which is now buried. It has been dealt with, it has been buried. And so President Kuffour, as a former president of this country, if he receives an invitation from a merchant bank to, of course, participate in its rebranding, President Kuffour will accept the invitation and attend, as he did. But if you listen to the commentary over the period, you see that some elements within the MPP are not happy. Those elements are, for me, very intolerant. They are intolerant in the sense that they don't respect the rights of former President Kuffour, who is law-abiding and knows that the matter has been dealt with exhaustively in legal circles and it's over.
Right. You don't agree slightly, at least, with those who say, yes, through the technical legal procedures, as we sit, the sale, you may say, has been sanctioned as having, you know, received, gone through due process. And yet, you have civil society groups and individuals who matter in this country who still raise a moral question. Don't they have that legitimate, you know, right to raise that question? Shouldn't President Kuffour, especially as he belongs to the NPP, share in that? Especially now we are being told that he still believes in their cause.
Well, Nitu is telling us that. I don't know the specific details. I still stand by the position that that transaction lacked a certain level of transparency. It suffered some integrity deficit because of how things went. We asked questions and answers were not provided for such a protracted period, and it didn't make sense. So it's a fait accompli now. I appreciate that point. It is. But it still lacked transparency. So I'm not convinced that we were actually given adequate information at the appropriate time, and it didn't help.
But there's an appeal pending, right?
Yes, yes. I was just going to alert us on that too. There is. So it is not as if the legal option is completely extinguished, you know. But that's different. I was expecting, and when my brother Nitu was talking, you see, I've been anxiously waiting for the conclusion of the minorities' investigation into this matter, so that we have something to chew on. It's taking too long. I'm anxiously waiting for it, and so that we can make it a subject for public interrogation and discussion. But in the process, he made some disclosures. He's talking of some NDC-linked people who, debtors were they?
Right.
Who had gone to pay a month after. I don't know about that. I know of only GMP, which I know settled its debt. And I cannot for a moment imagine EMP within that context. And I say so because there's enough documentary trail to show the genesis of the EMP Africa Exim Bank facility and the year limits and all the protracted negotiations that went on. Indeed, if you recall, Merchant Bank pulled out as the lead administration agent for that facility in a letter dated 25th March 2011, saying that if they, and I want to quote.
So that had been outstanding. That's what you want to put
yes,
out then.
So it's been there and had been going on for almost 3, 4, 5 years. It was not just Africa Exim Bank. Africa Exim and the ECOWAS Bank for Development and something else. So there's a trail to show that efforts were going on. If you check the agreement on which the loan was the money was granted, it's dated November 16th, 2011. You know these things take long. So Africa Exim facility is dated 16 November 2011. Subsequently amended. But that's the original thing. So I think we should leave the EMP angle out. But I would love it if the minority were to give us some other details that some of us are unaware of, so that we can interrogate all those things in a very transparent manner. Now, President Kuffour, absence there, needless. Why are people complaining about that? So needless. You see, MPP leaders, they are saying now that, oh, that's not what they meant. Why did they even have public discussions on the matter? Go and check social media. The rift is created within the party, and I'm sure my brother knows what I'm talking about. They are arguing. They are insulting each other. They are attacking each other. That Kuffour has betrayed the party. Oh, this is why Kuffour undermined Nana Akufo-Addo. Those people. This is something that doesn't even help internal party cohesion. It's because some leaders decided to talk about this. It's a non-issue.
It's a non-issue. He says the man believes in their cause, and yet he goes there to participate.
I draw
in
an
this.
extension.
Don't you find a contradiction in that?
No. So today, if somebody gave me some money I wanted to save with Universal Merchant Bank, because I still think it like transparency, I shouldn't go and save there. Is that what somebody is telling me? In my small case, I still believe that transaction lacked transparency. I'm convinced. If there was nothing to hide, the way and manner they went about it didn't help. And with somebody also playing the octopus rule here and there, all those things confused the issues. So I agree, something didn't go right. We can still return. That's why I believe the minorities probe. It's important. Okay, let them package the evidence they have, bring it forward, and let's see that, this was a fishy deal, and let's deal with it in the court of public opinion.
The minorities, their position not weakened, and presently you would have heard people in the ruling government suggest that, look, President Kuffour has gone there and shown an endorsement of the process, so what have you got to do? That's why they say it undermines
that's part of the propaganda, the realm of propaganda.
It's purely propaganda?
Of course, they're trying to capitalize on it and use it, and it makes no, well, I have to choose my words carefully. I was going to say, okay, I'll choose my words carefully, but there's no basis that Mr. Kuffour's presence at that event, or Kudum Pini's presence at that event, is a stamp of approval for how the transaction went. How?
There's no link.
There's no link, in my candid opinion, and I'm glad he's saying so. But I'm saying that because some of their leaders began to comment on it, it gave the thing a certain public wavelength. Let's talk about it.
Did you find them backtracking subsequently?
I can see that. Attempt to say, oh, that's not what we meant. Oh, this is how we meant. Oh, we went to Mr. Kuffour and he's even giving us more details. Which details? Which details? Details that show that the transaction was not transparent. What are we talking about? Well, you understand? It was a faux-pas.
A quick one.
A serious gap on the part of MPP.
No. Let me disagree a little bit. There is no MPP person, especially, it was the minority leader who said, we want to go and have a chat with President Kuffour.
No, that's all. He said a few things before he made that comment.
And I monitor radio a lot. Some of the other leaders.
The minority expressed an obvious dissatisfaction and disgust.
What were you going to check?
There was there was no single person, maybe some people, but the leadership of the minority never, at any point in time.
Yeah, but you are not the only people who speak for the party. You have communicators on air, on radio, debating, arguing. That is what fed into social media.
No, but you see, it was looked as if, oh, the minority has the problem with President Kuffour. And I said, no. As we say today, not leadership, not any member of the minority has a problem with that.
Let me hear you briefly. What's it?
Kweku talked about a minorities report on Merchant Bank. I think, look.
No, they said they are investigating. And I want their report.
The minority alone has no such legal mandate.
Oh, no, they are not talking independent.
Privately.
They have clearly demonstrated that, look, right from the word go, they didn't see anything good about the Merchant Bank takeover.
Okay, I see where you're
And so any report which is churned out by the minority would be tainted with bias.
It doesn't matter what evidence
it will be still born. It will be still born at all, and without any legal value.
You have to look at the facts.
Exactly.
But you haven't seen the facts, and you have a prejudiced mind.
No, you are already biased. I mean, you have demonstrated that you never saw anything good about the takeover.
But so let them bring the package.
How on earth can you now come out with your own report? It will be 7.
Maybe they'll change their mind when they get to the
It
middle
is
of
still
it.
7.
And they discover-
That probably is the reason why the report is taking forever to come out.
Let's finish on this issue. Tell me. So what's going to happen next with your project on the Fortis merchant
So
bank?
the project
deal?
on Fortis, like I've always said, is not ended. Just like the court case, it's not ended at all. It is a running battle. You see, but we are very careful that we do not put out anything that is false. I've always said that.
What are your next steps?
I am saying that the first thing is to release that report, which we will. Trust me about that.
How soon?
No, I'm not giving you that date because we haven't met over it, but we will release it. And I'm also saying that we do not want to do anything that is false. We want to ensure that we do the right thing.
But are the people who are linked to the MPP, those who are debtors, have they also paid?
I don't know about that.
So you are tracking only the NDC.
Because the reason why I said I don't know about that is I'm concerned about the fact that people, especially the heavy debtors, who merchant bank, at that time merchant bank, were run after and they refused to pay, quickly came and paid within 1 month after they take over.
What is refused
it only
to
tells
pay?
you.
What is refused to pay?
I don't know.
How do we explain that? What is refused
No,
to
the
pay?
refusal to pay.
When you have documentations to show that even the merchant bank was at one stage dealing with one of the debtors.
Gentlemen, we have on the line Mr. Kojo Mpieni, who is a former chief of staff, and he was he was with President Kuffour at that ceremony. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Mpieni.
Thank you. But I'm afraid I have to tell you, I'm just walking to the aircraft.
I see. Okay, so
I told the guy that.
So ask them to wait.
I see. But whilst you walk towards it, briefly tell us, why did you attend?
I was invited by a very good friend of mine.
How about the president?
I think he was also invited by a friend.
Do you support the position of the minority on this?
I don't.
I see.
Which position, please?
The position that the deal is shady, the deal is not transparent, and that there are issues that ought to be looked into.
Again, repeat it.
That the deal has issues that need to be looked into.
Well, if there are such things, I don't think my going there to stop them from doing that. They can go ahead and do it.
You didn't feel any obligation morally towards the minority in this?
No, I didn't.
I see. Thank you very much for your time.
I believe that if they want to do anything, they have every right to go ahead and do it.
I see.
My being there should not, under any circumstances, stop them from doing that.
Your critics say what you have done has legitimized the process and that the minority should not be heard criticizing it any further.
That's wrong.
Thank you for your time, sir.
That's wrong.
Okay, wish you a safe trip wherever you're going.
The same thing I was saying about the former president. His visit, he was very clear. My visit there has nothing to do with whatever you want to do. Go ahead. And we had a chat on other matters which will help us.
So you didn't think about it deeply before you went public with it?
Who went public with what? That's what I don't understand. You don't hear commentators or certain individual making statement you attribute it to the minority. I've always said the minority never said that. So if people are talking, leave them out.
He's talking of minority, meaning parliamentary.
I'm talking about the parliamentary, yes.
As a group.
Sections of the party were out there.
And also,
and
on
social
that's
media,
my problem with.
There's chaos.
No, that's my problem. If an individual within the party makes a statement, then it is assumed it is the MPP. No, the leadership of MPP did not also comment on it. The leadership of minority did not comment on it. Neither is any MP who came out to say we are against what the former president did. And so it undermines what we are doing. No, not at all.
I see.
I'm saying that it doesn't stop. There is no link. It doesn't stop us from doing what we are going to do. It certainly has not stopped the issues. And if we want to continue, we'll continue with the issues.
I see.
So let the managers of the Universal Merchant Bank know that if we want to continue the issues, we'll continue the issues.
That issue continue.
Well, the head of Political Science Department of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Mwakuba, however, shares the view that what the president did has given legitimacy to a fishy merchant bank sale.